Hi, Pisces rising, and welcome. I'm Lisa from Trails Edge Astrology, and this is your Cancer new moon astrology and tarot forecast for the month of July. Um, so the new moon always brings with it some kind of reverberation and indication of what the month ahead will hold. Um, so we look at the moon and we look at the other transits that are happening around that moon to kind of to give us this drumbeat and let us know what areas of our life might be in coming into focus. So the Cancer new moon is always a really deeply feeling moon. It's sensitive, it's imaginative, it's dreamy. Cancer energy is the divine mother, and so it's all about nurturing and love and protection in a lot of ways, like finding security. So for you, Pisces rising, this Cancer new moon is putting some focus on your fifth house, which is your house of creativity, and it's your house of individuation. It's your house of joy and games and luck and some risk taking. Although Cancer is not particularly risk taking in and of itself, but so there's something about helping you manifest something in that part of your life. Like, are you trying to bring some kind of creative endeavor into existence? There's some focus in that space. You always have Cancerian energy always lands in that fifth house of creativity for you. So that's not new. It's just with the moon, there's some ability to think about how you might want to work with it. So the moon is, as I mentioned, shaped by the other energy that's happening around it. And one of the big things happening around this new moon is the Mercury-Pluto opposition. And so Pluto has just moved into Aquarius and is going to move back into Capricorn, but then back into Aquarius, where it will be for the next 20 years. So we're still doing this little dance, but it is highlighting the Aquarian house in your chart. And this Mercury opposition is the first opposition um, to Pluto. And it's going to be repeated 3 times this month. So we've got Mercury opposed Pluto, then we have Venus opposed Pluto, then we have the Sun opposed Pluto. And when planets oppose each other, they're as far apart as they can possibly get. They're on the same, they have the same goals, but they have very different tactics for achieving them. And so sometimes when we have oppositions, we can project onto other people things that we're working on or things that we're feeling. So it can be it can be a harsh energy. It's about trying to find the balance between what can be perceived as opposites or like looking at duality. And so I think that that's going to show up in this lunar cycle, is that push and pull, and that really triggering, if you will, Plutonic energy in Aquarius for the first time. And for you, Pisces rising, that energy is happening in your 12th house. So there's something about service, or something about how you are connecting and connecting to yourself and others, and how you're processing information in order to connect to the cosmic consciousness in whatever way that is. With Pluto in your 12th house, there's probably some invitation, and this is a long transit, so over the next 20 years, some invitation to transform your psyche, or again connect to that cosmic consciousness. I wonder if in that process there might be some feelings of being trapped, um, or definitely. So Pluto energy always is about not being able to see the path, but in particular in your 12th house, I wonder if there's something about not being able to see the path. And with this opposition, Mercury is in your 6th house, which is daily habits and routines and analysis. and discernment in order to get things done in the material world, versus Pluto sitting in a space, a watery space of, just after dawn, where you can't see clearly. And so there might be just some energy being stirred around how it is, you know, how much. What I'm thinking is that you might be inclined to get on the treadmill and just go, just do the material things to get stuff done, and it will not come to anything. Like, the stuff you know how to do will not produce the results that you're hoping it will produce, with Pluto sitting in your 12th house for the month of July. So that's my thought. I think there's some aspect of surrender here in this moon, and really, as a Pisces rising, you feel things so deeply, and you're very intuitive, you're very in tune, and some of that might not work this month. Some of it might just feel off. Another energy coming in that I think will help ground us a little bit is that Mars will sextile Saturn today, as the new moon energy is perfecting, and when Mars and Saturn are sextile, it just can give us a little bit of grounding and some stability, and a little bit of discipline to get things done. So I'm hopeful that that's helpful. Saturn is in your first house as a Pisces rising, and so it can be asking you to do some real work on yourself in all of this. But I'm hoping that connection will help give us some discipline and some grounding, because the big energy for July is the Mars-Uranus conjunction in Taurus, which will perfect on the 15th, but we will definitely, if you're not already feeling it, and as a Pisces rising, you likely are, we'll definitely start feeling into it next week. Mars likes to go fast, and Uranus likes to go faster, and so when they come together, it can be a lot of energy. I sometimes describe Mars in Taurus as the bull in the china shop, and if we continue that analogy, Uranus is the cattle prod. So I think the name of the game is expecting the unexpected this month. And for you, that is occurring in your third house. And your third house is communications. It can be about siblings and peers and neighbors and informal education. But the third house is also the house of the goddess. It's the place where we bring, or we can kind of bring spirit down into everyday life. We can make our everyday tasks sacred with energy in the third house. And so, this has been an area you've been transforming probably all year. The Jupiter-Uranus conjunction came together in your third house in April, and the eclipses were ruled by your third house, by this energy. And so there's some initiating kind of energy happening here. And we have like the next piece of the puzzle as Mars and Uranus come together this month. It might not feel comfortable. It might be unexpected. It might be moving faster than you want it to. There might be a shift in your foundation that feels uncomfortable. But it doesn't have to be bad. And oftentimes, Mars-Uranus interactions do get us unstuck. It might not be pretty, but there's some unsticking in it all. So I think overall, the energy of the month, particularly for you, Pisces rising, is introspection. Like, use the tools you know to use. Listen to yourself, feel your feelings, process your feelings. And I would also encourage you to use Saturn in your first house to help you create some boundaries and some structures, so that you are not taking on the weight of the world, and that you're not being swallowed up by something that might unexpectedly come to pass with the Mars-Uranus conjunction. Yeah, so let's look at what the cards have to say for you for this month, and how we might sit in all of this soup, and make some meaning of it. All right, so I am using. Let me move this over so I can make sure you can see. I am using the Mind's Eye Tarot by Olivia Rose. I got this deck um, at Hazel Jane in Effingham, Illinois, a couple of weeks ago, and I love it. I've been using it almost constantly, and so I hope you like it. I'm going to do a new moon spread that is one that I do in my own personal practice, but I don't think I've done it on this channel before, so let me know what you think. And then we're going to finish out with a oracle pull from the Season of the Witch, the Litha Oracle version. Litha is the summer solstice, and that was a couple weeks ago. I tend to observe that energy through the first full moon through the full moon, I'm sorry, through the new moon that comes after that solstice. So solstice is a solar energy, but I follow a lot of that. I kind of try and align to the lunar energy as much as anything. And so, and I really like the deck, so we're still using it. All right, so that is our plan. 5 cards in this new moon spread, so let's see what they have to say for you. All right, so where are you now? Oh, interesting. You got the World. Get the glare off there. There we go. So the World is about culmination. It's the last card in the major arcana, so it's like something is coming together, like all of the pieces are fitting and getting into place. So the World is both an ending and a beginning. So I wonder if right now, is something wrapping up? Have you been working on something and it's coming together, or are you like feeling like, well, I've checked this off. I'm to where I want to be, and I'm ready to step into the next place. That would be very Mars Uranus in any house, but in the 3rd house, what's the next? Are there words that need to be said? Are there things that need to happen? Yeah, what is that? But yeah, some kind of culminating energy. Something's coming together. You've put all the pieces together, and you're starting to perhaps think about what is next on the journey. All right, what is blocking your growth? You got the Queen of Cups. And I would think that this could mean 2 different things. So queens are very internal. They're very introverted, I've heard it said. So they're about living into the energy of the suit. And the suit of cups is about feelings and emotions. You're a Pisces rising. You are no stranger to feelings and emotions. So the Queen of Cups is about living in feelings and emotions and expressing all of them and feeling all of them. And so, but this is blocking your growth. So maybe there is too much feeling. Maybe you're spending too much time in your feelings. You're spending too much time like ruminating on whatever's going on, and just just not ever getting to action because you're too busy feeling and absorbing it all. Yeah, and sometimes when we get court cards, it actually represents a person. So there could be a person who is blocking your growth, who is making you feel a certain way, or who is somehow not letting you move on to the next thing. So so there's some culminating energy. Something is coming together, but there's some feelings, or a person who is causing some feelings that are not letting you move on to the next step, or not letting you realize whatever this culmination might be. So the block, I think, would be to use that Saturn in your 1st house and try and put some structures around something as best you can. Saturn's in Pisces, so it's not particularly structured, but try and maybe get yourself out of the emotional soup and into something a little bit more tangible and more grounded, into that Taurus energy, maybe into that just the where the rubber hits the road. All right, next card is what intentions will help you move forward in this moon cycle. Oh, very interesting. We got the Fool. So where are you? You are the world. What do you need to bring in? The Fool. So these two cards, the world is the end, the Fool is the beginning of the story. And so that is very interesting. So there is definitely some transformation happening in your life. Something, there is an invitation to step out of something old and into something new. And so the intention that you can set is to step into that new thing. Take the leap of faith. You know, maybe don't think about it a whole lot. It feels right, go. So yeah, something about moving into the next chapter during this cycle. So that is super interesting, incredibly interesting. So yeah, I'm curious, like that's just an amazing, like, how do we, well, I know how we get it, spirit speaks, but there's some, you're making a move somewhere. You're doing something. You need to, or you can invite in, like, I'm ready to go on to the next thing. I'm ready to stop sitting in all of this emotional stuff, and I'm ready to move on to the next step. So definitely an invitation with this moon to move on to what is next. All right, what knowledge do you need to help you move forward? And you got the King of Pentacles. So you got two court cards, or two major arcana and two court cards. Like, this is I think you're going to have a nice big month. So the King of Pentacles. So the knowledge you need is that you are secure, is that the material world is supportive of you. So kings are leaders, and the King of Pentacles is, the Pentacles are about, material security. It can be a job, it can be your house, it can be just the way you nurture yourself. So the knowledge you require is that when you take this leap of faith, like, the universe has you. Like, you're secure. You're like, this is good. Like, there is, I just finished a book called The Alchemist, and I wish I could remember who wrote it, but it's one of the kind of like a modern um, a fable, and it's about, like, living into your passion, or living into what you're, the things you're called to do. And one of the points that gets made over and over and over again is that when you align with where you're supposed to go, the universe supports you. And, like, the universe, like, collaborates to make sure the right pieces come together at the right time. And this is what this feels like to me. Like, take the leap and you got the backing. Like, you're not going to, um, the bottom's not going to fall out. The foundation is stable. You can move forward. And now that I'm looking, Jupiter's in your fourth house. Your fourth house is about that firm foundation, your home, your family, your roots, your ancestors, and like that is, that's in a good place right now. So yeah, so know that you can move into whatever this next chapter is, with security, knowing that you have support. All right, and then the last card for us is what emerging positive energy is coming. Well, this is interesting. We have, so you got the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles can sometimes be like a miserly card, like a holding on to your stuff too tightly. But being that you're a Pisces rising, I imagine you're pretty porous. Like, you feel everybody's feelings. You absorb a lot from a lot of people. And I think what this is saying is, like, if you take this leap knowing that there is support for you, that maybe you are able to, like, hold on to things that are yours, or maybe you are able to build something that somebody else can't take, or that won't be leached out of you in your, watery feelingness. So I think that the positive energy that can come from this moon cycle is that, you can kind of draw some boundaries. You can put the pieces up, and I mentioned Saturn's in your first house. Maybe just like here's the line in the sand, and I love you, but you don't get to cross it, something like that. So I think there's, yeah, some ability to have something that's yours, and to keep something that's yours is possible if you're willing to take this leap of faith. into whatever's coming next. All right, let's see what the Oracle has to say about all of this. And you got the Heather card. And on the card, it says, "You are worthy, my dear. Silence the noise that strips you of your peace." Interesting. Let's see what the book says. All right, it says, "Pay no attention to the noise unless they are absolutely negative. You may have to stand up for yourself here and there, but otherwise, much of what you are experiencing on the whole is a lot of bark and no bite. Don't let anyone else's criticisms plant doubt in what you've worked so hard to achieve." So you've worked hard to achieve it, and don't let anybody give you any doubt. Like, you can move on. The universe has your back. All right, what else does it say? If you are experiencing doubts, you can always try on someone's comments and see if they hold as truth. To do this in a healthy form with self-awareness, as long as you do, or I'm sorry, to do this is a healthy form of self-awareness as long as you do it honestly. For if for some reason you do find the criticism to be true, know that it is well within your ability to confront and overcome any shortcomings. Thank the naysayers for bringing this to your attention, and then do what you do best. Evolve. So that's interesting. So there's something about, like, don't let the critics sway you from whatever it is you were trying to build or trying to do or trying to bring in. Don't let this Queen of Cups pull you off your track in all of this. In all of this energy, and this, like, there's again that creative energy with the moon in the 5th house. Something about spiritual deliverance, connection to the cosmic consciousness, something about sacred daily rituals, or how you're communicating ideas, all that kind of stuff. So I'm curious how this all shapes up for you. I feel like it's a big month, Pisces rising. All right, well, if you made it this far and you would grace me with a like and a subscribe, I would appreciate that. Share this with someone if you find it helpful. Help me grow this channel. For that, I am eternally grateful. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.